First, we have to stop dealing with illusions. We cannot ask the people who programmed us into oblivion to program us out of it. So far as I'm concerned, education has but one honorable purpose, one alone. Everything else is nonsense. And that is to train the student to be a respectful and a responsible handler of power. People do not train you in how to take their power away from them when they hold power by controlling you. To expect this of other people is a contradiction in terms. Freedom is something you do not wish upon, you do not dream upon. Freedom is something you take with your own hands. It is never secure until you take it with your own hands. You do not leave it for another generation. Each generation must in turn secure it with their own hands, even if you leave it to them in a will. It is not secure until they make it secure with their own hands, their own bodies, and their own minds. And so long as we avoid this reality, someone else is going to dictate the content of education. And when people dictate the content of education, they're dictating what goes into your mind. And when they dictate that, they're going to dictate agitation. They're going to dictate your action. And though you might lie about it, so long as you are in this position, you are some form of a slave. And it is incumbent upon you to free yourselves from it. You educate yourself to come out of it and do not expect others to do it for you. We stop begging at the door of people who reduced us to beggars.
Now, look, let's deal with our own historical naivete. Until we deal with it, we're not going any place. Black people have no right to expect anything from this establishment because it wasn't set up for them. They wasn't brought to this country to be given democracy. They was brought to this country to do some work, to labor and to obey. And once the machines made a whole lot of these jobs obsolete, it tended to make a whole lot of the people obsolete. Now, we keep worrying about the American promise and the American dream, and we forget it wasn't made to us. And the white man has not betrayed anything because he didn't promise us anything in the first place. Now, the role of institutions in a society is to reflect the power that controls that society. So we have American institutions arrayed against us. And we naively expect these institutions to reform themselves, because if they reform themselves, that's tantamount to presiding over their own demise.
I'd like to say one thing.
To arbitrate an African family dispute until we understand that up on site, the African invited the European for dinner. That's the first thing he did. The Indian invited the European for dinner. The Polynesians invited the European for dinner. Now, if you invite people for dinner, you've got plenty dinner, and you have a society that is traditionally hospitable to strangers. The Indians invited Christopher Columbus for dinner, the first thing they did. All right, now let's look at what was happening inside of Christopher Columbus's mind. And we can go to his own diary for this. He said, I wonder why they are so friendly. They'll be easier to conquer than I thought they would be. I wonder why they're bringing such small amounts of gold. I wonder where the mines are. His intentions were not good. It wasn't good then. The intentions are not good now. And the black man is still hung up with this dinner invitation, this kindness, with the thought that if you treat a person humanely, that he will act humanely toward you. Black people have not seen white people at all. That is why they can't deal with them.
I want to say one.
You know, when white people start talking about, you're special. You're so different. You're not like the others. You start believing that shit until the cops pull you over. You go, well, I was special. Yeah, nigga, just put your head down and keep it. I'll put a special bullet in your ass. I just don't want to get too comfortable. Brothers can't afford to get too comfortable, you know? Because that's when you become the pawn. That's when they use your ass. Anytime white people want to smooth some shit over, they go get that rich nigga and put you on TV to represent the people, you know? You have you asking your questions like, Damon, now that you made this $13 million, and we're not counting, now that you made all this money, let me ask you this. Let me just throw this out at you. You respond any way you want. Is there racism in America? You be sitting there thinking about that paycheck, talking about, no, sir. If in there is, I ain't seen none.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. Shouts out to Erica. What's going on, Erica? Grandma used to say, y'all subscribe to her channels. My brother Bakari, he just had a good show. Y'all subscribe. Casidra, shouts out to Casidra. Y'all subscribe to her. And I wasn't even going to go live today because I was supposed to have a lesson today, but you know what I'm saying? It's just going to be next Sunday, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really have time this week, and I wasn't even gonna go live, but I'm not gonna lie, you know, Casidra live earlier inspired me. It kind of made me turned up, so you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna come on here for just a few minutes, and if y'all want to jump on, you let me know in the chat, and I give y'all the link, you know what I'm saying. But if not, then I'm gonna just go through it, you know what I'm saying, and I guess I'll put the link in later if y'all want. But y'all just let me know if y'all wanna get the link and come on. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, just everything that, you know, been going on. Yo, black people and this whole people of color thing, like, and is looking for friends and, you know what I'm saying, trying to reach out to everybody when we can't even, you know, be friends with our damn selves, you know. And it don't matter what I, like, because people be like, oh, why you always talking about everybody else? Why don't you go in on? Because I'm not trying to join the minstrel shows like the rest of y'all, you know what I'm saying? And I don't, you know, this is just YouTube. You got to use it for what it's for. It's meant to be propaganda and stuff like this, you know what I'm saying? But for the right reasons, you know what I'm saying? Well, if your reasons is aligned with mine anyway, you know what I'm saying? But I know we always looking for a friend or somebody who could help. And I could have went through a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm not going to go through a whole bunch of stuff. So, you know, I'm going to show this, right? And I know y'all, and I haven't talked about this young brother, but you know what I'm saying? The young brother who got shot at the door, you know what I'm saying? And he survived, you know what I'm saying? But this is the grandson of the shooter, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, and I'll play this, you know, I guess this, you know, I know a lot of black people will be like, yo, this is, you know, he's a good white dude, you know, he's one of the good ones, quote unquote. I still don't know what that means, but anyway.
Speaking of someone who knows him, why they might do this. So, Clint, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Don. Good morning.
Good morning to you. So what is your reaction? What was your reaction when you heard that your grandfather shot Ralph Yarl for ringing his doorbell?
I was disgusted. I thought it was terrible.
First of all, yeah, I don't know what's going on with like the cornrows and all that stuff. I don't know what's going on there. But, you know, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm tripping because, you know, I get thrown out the cookout before he would, you know what I'm saying? Or as, you know, John Henry Clark was saying, invited to dinner. That's what they used to say, invited to dinner. But now we say cookouts because we rather have cookout than a dinner. But I know I get thrown out the cookout before he would.
Myself and my family stand with Ralph Yarl and seeking justice. This is a horrible tragedy. It never should have happened.
Folks are going to want to know why you're speaking out and apparently against your grandfather.
It's the right thing to do. This country happens over and over again where people get away with killing unarmed, innocent black people, and it's I would have had the same energy for any other case like I've had over and over again in this country, like I said. But so it's the right thing to do. People need to speak out and not make any excuses for this kind of behavior and this violence.
So you said for killing innocent black people, the prosecutor in this case has suggested that there was a racial component to it. Do you believe your grandfather is racist?
I believe he holds racist tendencies.
The answer would be yes. He holds racist. He couldn't get too far out there. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't just be like, yeah, hell yeah. Well, his racist tendencies. I'm not gonna say he's racist, but you know, he's at the cookout feeding out brains. This is just the missionaries that got in there because you know if they say it, you know what I'm saying. He did say something. He smiled, and he got some cornrows. So,
Father is racist.
I believe he holds racist tendencies.
Yeah, like killing young black people.
Why do you say that?
Trying
to. He's just a stock American Christian male. It's older, you know, that's just how they are. It's the conspiracies and weird random racist things they say, and it doesn't make sense, but they're just scared.
There we go. See, this is what I want you to hear, though, right? I'm like, well, they're just scared, you know. They just get into all these conspiracies, and now I'm telling you, George Washington tugging over in his grave because it's people like him that's dropping the ball for them. This is why they about to be done anyway. See, the more white dudes, they about to go to hell. That's why they scared too. You know what I'm saying? But they also know that their grandchildren is dropping the ball, and you know what I'm saying? Like they turning over in their grave as we speak. You know what I'm saying?
Things they say, and it doesn't make sense, but they're just scared.
Now, listen, you're generalizing a lot here about, you said older Christian white males, but what do you mean by that? What do you mean they're scared? Talk to me more, please.
Please.
Yeah, it's just I feel like a lot of people of that generation are caught up in this 24-hour news cycle of fear and paranoia perpetuated by some other news stations, and he was fully into that, sit and watch Fox News all day, every day, blaring in his living room. And I think that stuff really kind of reinforces this negative view of minority groups and leads people to be a little, it doesn't necessarily lead people to be racist, but it
not necessarily, they're not necessarily, because he was about to go these people to be racist because he's reading, I guess, a script or something like, well, not racist per se. I know he killed a young black boy and all of this, but not per se.
Leads people to be a little, it doesn't necessarily lead people to be racist, but it reinforces and galvanizes racist people and their beliefs.
Like your granddaddy.
Now, apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, Clint, you said that your grandfather would say or do things, apparently that you did not subscribe to, that caused you to distance yourself from him. Say and do things like what?
My black girlfriend came home that one time.
That's right.
Now, God forbid, Mooly, what are you, all of your mind?
A lot of it was the kind of QAnon level conspiracies about election denying, and then they got really weird with some Fauci dogs. I really didn't know what that meant, but I would push back on some of this stuff, and he couldn't handle being pushed back on.
All right.
That you found offensive about minorities or people of color?
Yes, he
didn't even say black, so I guess he asked him about minorities and people of color. Neither of which is talking about us, but you know he's going to answer the question talking about us.
Say some things. I think I can't remember exactly now all that happened, but I know he had something about had a really hot take about abortion and how something about black women getting abortions, and I didn't know what he was talking about, but I said I don't really
talking about black women getting abortion. Ain't that what he wanted? What does black women got to do with anything? And he's talking about minorities, the white bitches that's getting abortions. I want you to talk about those minorities.
I had a really hot take about abortion and how something about black women getting abortions, and I didn't know what he was talking about, but I said I don't really want to talk to you about this anymore. This
probably talking about his girlfriend
is racist and it's dumb, so let's move on. And I pushed back, and he didn't like that either at the time.
So listen, the Kansas City Star also spoke to you.
All right. It's enough of this. person of color, this white ally here, you know what I'm saying, who he did tiptoe through the tulips and Don let him off the hook. Good old Don, you know what I'm saying? But I do have to show this, right? Because I know people who are doing this and it's just like another one happened, right? And I know people who is out here doing these kind of jobs, you know what I'm saying? Like, so a dude shot a black couple because they came to his wrong house with an Instacart order, you know what I'm saying? So check this out.
Good advice, Yvonne. Thank you. All right, switching gears. This is a scenario suddenly making headlines across the country. You knock on the wrong door or pull up to the wrong address, and then before you know it, bullets are flying. Simple mistakes ending in gunfire, and some of it deadly.
One South Florida couple says it happened to them while delivering groceries. Tonight, an incident report sheds new light to the story.
And Bakari was just talking about this gun thing and being able to protect yourself, especially, I don't know, well, it ain't no, I'm pretty sure it ain't no rule against you being armed or whatever it is if you're doing those kind of jobs and stuff. But I'm just saying, because they are scared, as the dude had put it, you know what I'm saying? That's what he called it. But they're responding with urgency as they're supposed to do. It's just his generation is dropping the ball, which is why they're already taking this L right now. They're, you know, everything is about to flip, you know what I'm saying? But see, they understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, they are responding with urgency to maintain the position that they're in. But we have to respond with more urgency than they do, right? So if you're doing any of this kind of stuff, you might want to be able to protect yourself and, you know, just be careful and make sure you always aware of your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at any industry, when you especially traveling or driving or doing anything, right? You already know what it is. It could be trucking, like if you listen to the CB radios, how they talk about black people, but you always have to be, you know what I'm saying, like prepared at all times, you know what I'm saying? Even if you just staying in shape, just in case you got to get away. Like, I don't even care, you know what I'm saying? There's just no more casualties. But anyway, I'm gonna play this story.
Yvonne, thank you. All right, switching gears. This is a scenario suddenly making headlines across the country. You knock on the wrong door or pull up to the wrong address, and then before you know it, bullets are flying. Simple mistakes ending in gunfire, and some of it deadly.
One South Florida couple says it happened to them while delivering groceries. Tonight, an incident report sheds new light to the story. CBS News Miami's Joe Gorcho reports.
Yeah, that's one here, right here, and then the one on the tire was like here.
This 18-year-old Instacart driver shows us bullet hole after bullet hole lodged in her car. All of this happened after a simple mistake.
I was hungry, like I wanted to go home, so this was our last one for the night.
She says she was making a grocery delivery with her boyfriend when they got lost and, in the process, almost lost their lives.
It was like super dark. There weren't no street lights. I'm like, I don't know if this is it, because I see like we're driving and there's like cows and there's a tractor and there's like rocks.
The couple says they were trying.
I don't know what it was. Were cows and a tractor and rocks. I don't know where it was at. Could have been in Iowa somewhere, you know.
The tractor and there's like rocks.
The couple says they were trying to find the home to deliver to in Southwest Ranches.
We're like leaving, and then that's when we see like this flashlight. So I'm like, oh, maybe that's them. Like maybe that's her husband.
They say they identified themselves, but it didn't matter. Someone blocked them in, they say, and started screaming. And then it happened.
I seen him pull out the gun and he had like clicked it back. So then I was like, let's go. We got to go.
Several bullets hit their car as they made a U-turn and rushed away from the property. Blocks away, they called police. Police to confirm a shooting on Southwest 178th Avenue. The incident report brings new light to the story when the couple arrived at the wrong home. The neighbor whom the grocery delivery was meant for told investigators he then saw them begin to drive erratically in an attempt to exit the property. The shooter, Antonio, told investigators he feared for his children's safety. He stated that he shot out three rounds.
Isn't it, what is this, John Adams? You know what I'm saying? He gave them that speech, you know. They feared for their safety, so they shot a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, this Negro. But in this case, you know, he feared for his children's safety. Like, dude, stop it, man. And this is why you need to listen to Bakari's show earlier, talking about protecting yourselves and staying strapped up, especially when you're out there, you know what I'm saying, in the world, because you could end up in a place with cows and tractor and rocks when you get lost. Like anybody, it could happen to any of us. You know what I'm saying?
Told investigators he feared for his children's safety. He stated that he shot out 3 rounds at the vehicle after the vehicle struck him, running over his right foot. Antonio stated his intention was to disable the vehicle so that it was no longer a danger. The teens, thankful to be alive.
What do you think he is? Nicolas Cage or something? Like, what is he talking about? Disable the vehicle.
Believe the situation should have been handled differently.
We could have been dead. Like, our window is down and they're shooting.
No, it's not good to be trigger happy when you have a gun.
I understand we're on their property, but that's just not how you go about things.
Joe Gorcho, CBS News, Miami.
Or maybe you adapt and survive. I don't know. But yeah, man, y'all be careful when y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? I was going to show this, right? I don't know if I should. I'll just show a little. Oh, yeah, I do have to show this because it's a lesson in this as well. You know what I'm saying? And this is about protecting ourselves. And I want you to get a glimpse of reality in the real world. You know what I'm saying? So, and you can say what you want to say, but you know what I'm saying? But anyway, right. You know what I'm saying? There's extra peanuts. You know what I'm saying?
This is private property where I just made a purchase.
She was already here, and I asked her to leave.
And I've made previous purchases.
Not welcome in the store.
Previous purchases.
Listen, you're going to end up in jail, both of y'all in a minute.
Sir, are you telling me I'm going to jail because I'm a paying customer and I'm
because you're
being
criminal trespassing. I'm asking both of y'all to leave.
Oh wait, how am I a criminal trespassing? Please,
Because I've asked you to leave.
That's not saying that I'm criminal and I'm
That's not saying anything.
That's not saying
But
that.
I asked you to leave.
You did. Oh, wait. You don't have.
All right.
What you about to do?
I'm telling you, I'm fixing to put cuffs on you and escort you out.
Okay, sir, you put.
All right. Now check it out. Now check it out right now. The brother came over here right now. This is what I'm saying. You can say whatever you want to say, but the brother, all right, he came over here, right? And the brother is trying to explain, but just watch, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying whatever. I'm just giving an analysis of where things stand in this day and time. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, I'm fixing to put cuffs on you and escort you out.
Okay, sir, you put cuffs on my daughter?
Yes. You're going to go to jail too.
Oh,
you put hands on me.
What did I do, sir?
You're asked to leave.
No, sir. If I'm a paying customer.
You've been asked to leave.
If
It
I'm a
doesn't
paying
matter if you're a paying customer.
Well, I need a refund.
It doesn't matter.
I need a refund, sir.
Now, this brother is probably the most powerful person in this whole situation here. You know what I'm saying? And the brother came over there. Okay, so that's good. All right, now he's trying to calm the situation. All right, and so the lady. Okay, so yeah, the lady bought something from the store, but the store owner was like, "No, we're not serving you." And she told her to leave. You know what I'm saying? So she called the police on him, and that is another lesson. What in the hell is you doing? Because do you really want to get food from somebody who's like this? You know what I'm saying? They be peeing in the food. There's a video of like a girl peeing in their food and stuff like this, and doing all kind of nasty stuff with the food with her. You know what I'm saying? Vagina. I'll just say that. But we protest outside of that. If somebody's restaurant like, please let us in. We want to eat at your spot. You know what I'm saying? No, yo, who knows what they're putting in the food? All right. So that's the first lesson in this, and I forgot about that. But so they're in there. She bought something. She like, oh, I refuse to leave because I paid for something and I want to be served. And now, of course, the cop is here is going to be on the code to protect establishment of America, right? So now he's on a clash with black women, and then his brother is here. You know what I'm saying?
Refund. I need a refund. I am refund. I have to give you a refund. No, sir. We don't step outside if we paid money.
It doesn't matter. You don't know the law. I'm telling you.
Oh, no, sir. I know the law.
No,
she
you
just
don't.
told me I
Let
had
me
to
tell you
leave
something.
because that's
You're
what she
fixing.
felt
Okay,
like.
you know what? Turn around. Put your hands behind the back.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying?
You are going to. I'm sorry. What is the law, sir? What is the law? Please tell me.
Now, you know, the brother, you know what I'm saying? The brother couldn't really, like, and I'm just saying, right? There would be a difference, right? The brother couldn't really do anything, right? So he had to try to explain the situation. And he calmed it down a little bit. But he's like, what is the law? What is the law? You know, all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Tell us. State it right now. State it right now. Sir, you right now. You about to change my mind.
But the young sister is, if you notice, the young sister is behind the brother, you know what I'm saying? So at least the brother is in front of her, you know what I'm saying? But you see this white dude pulling out the taser, you know what I'm saying? But at least the brother is in front of her, you know what I'm saying?
Sir, you right now. You about to change my mama because she's not leaving the store.
Wait a minute.
Ooh, I swear to God, you better not take my mama.
What
is the law that I need to even? You better not take my mama. You better not take my mama.
Do not. Listen to me. Told you to leave.
No, she did not tell me.
What was the reason though?
Why am I not allowed in the store? Please tell me why I'm not allowed in the store.
Now he red as hell right now. He wanted like probably at least he got he got the taser, but he wanted everybody in the spot right now. And the white girl is gone. The most dangerous being in the species who set this off, you know what I'm saying, the most dangerous, and that's what y'all gotta understand. But that's another whole nother minority. That's a bonus lesson right there for your minorities.
Why am I not allowed in this store? You can't even tell me that, but you want to listen to her.
That's a good question, Cassandra.
No, that's fine. That's fine. And I told. Did you even ask me what I said to her? You don't care. You don't care though. That's fine. No, because once we step outside, then we're not. No. No.
Yes, it is the law. Don't be telling me what the law is. I know what the law is.
Ooh, you better calm down.
I don't know who you are. Explain to us the law. Get a drug out of here in a minute.
Then explain.
Stop the threat. Stop the threat.
For real.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna do
No, mama.
Yo, you heard that? He was like, at first the brother was like, yo, please explain to us the law, you know what I'm saying? And then he was like, yo, don't, and then he kind of was like, don't do that. And then the white boy immediately like, yo, what are you gonna do?
I know what the law is.
Ooh, you better calm down.
I don't know who you are. Explain to us the law. Get a drug out of here in a minute.
Then explain.
I don't know, you uppity Negro, think you out, or you best to get out of here.
Stop the threat. Stop the threat.
For real.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna do
No, mama. This man. No.
My husband is a retired sergeant in the military.
Okay,
So
it's you military. This is not the military.
It's not, but I'm telling you, sir, we know our law.
No, you don't.
Okay?
What didn't tell
You're
us?
asked to leave. I'm telling you to leave now.
Legal rights.
Right.
So you want to go ahead and start with my wedding bill?
All because Didi didn't want for since
That are in the store actually see this and witness this.
a couple of days ago, and then she's mad about the fact that
Now the rest of them just chilling watching it.
That'll be the.
But you know, and the point is though, the brother, you know what I'm saying, and I'm gonna stop it right there, all right? You know what I'm saying? The brother was there, but you know, it's only so much that in this, you know, state sanctioned stuff that's, you know what I'm saying, like, but the brother did step in, you know what I'm saying? So I do want to give him credit, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to talk and reason and try to be like, please don't do this, sir, you know? And that's just an analysis. And then at a different time, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, the law is whatever you say it is, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to go deep on that, right? But I'll get to the people of color stuff so I can get up off of here, right? All right, so listen, I'm going to show you this dude right here, you know what I'm saying? This East Indian dude, you know what I'm saying? And I had another East Indian video I had for so long, right? But I ain't even ever used it. But yeah, this good old East Indian dude. Now, this fool think he can be able to run for president and the white boy's going to accept him. This dummy right here, you know what I'm saying? Now, this is your friends here who's like, you know what I'm saying, like jumping in with the Republican Party. But check this out.
Parents came to this country.
What's going on, Raw? Appreciate you coming through.
Forefathers came to this country to be free, to be the explorers, to roam the American terrain without any government telling
Wait.
We are the pioneers who came to this country, whose parents came to this country, whose forefathers came to this country.
And what's he talking about? Forefather? They ain't even let him in like 2000. What was it, like 2001? He would have got kicked out of the country in 2001. They got there probably the latest, what, like 2020 something? I don't know. In the 2000s, I know that. He talking about something. We came here. No, like you wasn't even allowed here till like 2000. Or probably like 05, 2010 or something like that.
To be free, to be the explorers, to roam the American terrain without any government telling them what they could or couldn't do. And the reason we're able to do it is because the existence of that Second Amendment. Now, I'll tell you, you hear from the other side that, well, we have school shootings in this country. We have mass shootings. I'll tell you, there's not a person in this room that wants to see another school shooting in this country. You want to have the courage to deal with it, then step up and deal with the actual problem. We have a
White boys in America going crazy. Let's deal with it.
mental health epidemic across America.
All right, white boys went
You want
crazy.
to do something, you can ban social media and kids under the age of 15 or 16 before you take guns away from law-abiding adults in America. You want to solve the problem, you better take away. You want to solve the drugs on the street, you want to use our military. Don't go out to protect somebody else's border. Protect our border here in the United States. And
Yeah, you would have got kicked out, you idiot.
end the fentanyl crisis. That is how you solve the problem.
Increase the fentanyl prices. Oh, he calling for a war on drugs, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Y'all better watch out, white dudes.
The fatherlessness epidemic. 25% of kids
You hear
are
this?
born into families without a household. Black Lives Matter says they want to annihilate the nuclear family structure. You want to know what I say? The nuclear family structure is the best known form of governance to mankind. We actually need to bring back the family because that's actually what creates the shooting problems in this country.
Now, if you don't catch what that means, he's trying to say, right? And I know he said Black Lives Matter, even though like it's technically a white organization. Let's be real, you know what I'm saying? But he's trying to say, oh, it's the single parent homes and, you know what I'm saying, who they always equate with that. And the problem, that's the real gun problems in America, you know what I'm saying? Because even though the NRA may do this, the NRA has historically been against us, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of certain brothers who think, you know what I'm saying, the NRA is for you, you know what I'm saying? But they're not. But I don't know if it's irrelevant.
Fix the problem. Where did it come from? It didn't start in a vacuum.
All right, so yeah, it's enough of this idiot. Well, check it out. This fool think he can actually run for president, and the white folks going to accept him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's selling all the way out.
Is by embracing actually the
Oh yeah, and I'm only and I showed Don Lemon thing earlier, so y'all listen to this.
radicalism of the American ideals themselves. We celebrate our diversity and differences. I'm glad we have some 3 different shades of melanin on this set right now.
They have 3 different shades of melanin.
American ideals themselves. We celebrate our diversity and differences. I'm glad we have some 3 different shades of melanin on this set right now, 2 different genders.
White
That's
girl,
fine.
that's
But what I say
hilarious.
is, so what? That diversity is meaningless unless there's something greater that binds us together, that unites us across that diversity. And I'm running for president.
I don't see what one has to do with
running
the
for
other,
president.
but go on. I took up a lot of time with Fox.
Oh,
News.
it's fine. We have time.
I don't really see what one has to do with the other, especially
Holding black
Lyndon
Americans
Johnson's
back.
The War on Poverty.
To say they're the party that wants to put you back into chains. What I'm actually saying is that if you look at the policies of the modern Democratic Party,
Democrats.
absolutely. So what I'm saying is that actually it's policies like that of Lyndon Johnson and Joe Biden that are actually holding black
Lyndon
Americans
Johnson's
back.
The War on Poverty.
Yes, and in particular, his Great Society, where he actually created incentives in the family, where if you're a family, you could
move on to
I
China.
don't see what one has to do with the other, but go on. I took up a lot of time with Fox.
Oh,
News.
it's fine. We have time.
I don't for black people to have guns. That's not
that war was
Fox
Oh,
News,
it's
but
fine.
go on.
We have time.
I don't really see what one has to do with the other, especially consider and using the Civil War to talk about black Americans. That war was not fought for black people to have guns. That's not.
That war was fought for black people to have freedoms in this country. Yeah. Actually, that's why the Civil War was fought.
Okay.
No, he's talking about something. Yeah, no, it was not. It was fought because the North wanted to end on the tax money they was making off of enslaving us. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, because they had slavery in the North too, by the way, you know. And, you know, good old Abraham Lincoln said, stop freeing the slaves because you're pissing off the slave masters and we want them to come on outside, come on back to the Union. So you send them Negroes back into slavery. That's what happened. So no, that's not true.
The sad
that
part
wasn't
about it,
fought for black people to have guns. I think.
actually, you know, funny fact is black people did not get to enjoy the other freedoms until their Second Amendment rights were secured. And I think that that's one of the
But
lessons
black
that we
people still
learned.
aren't allowed to enjoy the freedoms.
I
as well
disagree
in
with
this
you
country.
on that, Don. I disagree with you. I think you're doing a disservice to our country.
Okay.
Now, before you say some crazy stuff, right? I want you to hear what he said. When you secure your Second Amendment right to bear arms, then you can secure your damn future, right? And that is the one thing I would say I agree with.
And I think that that's one of the lessons that we
still
learned.
aren't allowed to enjoy the freedoms.
I disagree with you.
The one I took up a lot of the other, especially
For black people to have freedoms in this country. Yeah. Actually, that's why the Civil War was fought.
Okay.
And the sad
but that
part
wasn't
about
fought for black people to have guns. I think.
Actually, you know, funny fact is black people did not get to enjoy the other freedoms until their Second Amendment rights were secured. And I think that that's one of the lessons that we
still
learned.
aren't allowed to enjoy the freedoms.
I disagree with you on that, Don. I disagree with you. And I think you're doing a disservice to our country by failing to recognize the fact that we have equality before the law.
And you live in this country, then you can disagree with me, but we're not. You mentioned that we have three different shades
Don, I
of
think we have to be
melanin
able to
here.
talk about these issues in the open, regardless of the color of our skin. Black Americans today, to say that, compare that to 1865 and 1964,
I think for you to compare it to
absolutely
1865 and
have equal rights
1964
in this
is
country.
actually, I think it's insulting to black people. It's insulting to me as an African American. I don't want to sit here and argue with you because it's infuriating for you
It's
to
insulting to Bakari as an African American.
put those things together. It's not right. Your telling of history is wrong. What
part of the history was wrong?
What
Don?
you're
What part of the
talking
history was
about
wrong?
that the Civil War was fought. You're making people think that the Civil War was fought for black people, only for black people to get guns and for black people to
The
have.
Civil War was fought for
rights.
black people in this country to get freedoms, a noble mission. And I think that even
yes, you're right. But it
after
wasn't-
we
but
succeeded,
No, he's not right. What the hell are you talking about?
we had to actually secure those
Reduce it-
freedoms.
To reduce it in a speech at the NRA to say you're making people think, or you're trying to say that black people to get guns, that was the reason that you're there at the NRA. That was the reason for the Civil War.
It
I
is
think
a
that's
fact.
reductive.
It's not
and I think
reductive,
it's
Don.
insulting. There are a whole plethora of reasons that for the
Look,
Civil
with
War.
due respect, I find your explanation reductive and actually insulting, including to black Americans, to say that black people today, compared to 1964, 1865, haven't made progress in part because of the freedoms we secured. And the Second Amendment was
Black
part of
people,
what secured
hang
them
on,
that
please. I
freedom.
cannot keep a thought if you guys are talking to me in my ear. So hang on one second. So to say that black people, say what you said again.
Black people secured their freedoms after the Civil War. It is a historical fact, Don. Just study it. Only after their Second Amendment rights were secured.
They
That's
were
a
not
fact.
secured their freedoms after the Civil War. That is not, you are discounting Reconstruction. You're discounting a whole host of things that happened after the Civil War when it comes to African Americans, including the whole reason that the Civil Rights Movement happened is because black people did not secure their freedoms after the Civil War, and that things turned around. People tried to change the freedoms that were supposed to happen.
Lord have mercy if I get caught in public with I ain't even gonna say what he would get caught in public with, but anyway.
They got their Second Amendment rights, and they actually got the NRA played a big role in that. But today, Don,
The NRA did not play a big role
absolutely,
in
they
that.
trained black Americans how to use firearms.
That's a lie. That's not. The
it's
NRA did not play a big role in
This
that.
is just historical fact. But
It's
Don,
not historical fact.
the part that I
Just
find
because you say it's historical fact.
part that I find
And a white girl like, oh Lord, this Negro. But listen, and the NRA was actually, and the Republicans actually pushed a deal, like they was for gun control once black people started pushing that in the 60s, and more black people armed themselves in the 60s, because you know what? Black people historically realized they had to arm themselves. Like after you getting like whatever people trying to come at you, and you realize you ain't gonna get no help, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go help yourself. And historically, black people have always used, or who cares if it's an amendment or not, you get to protect your life. You know what I'm saying? Everything has the right to survive and whatever, you know what I'm saying? And black people have protected their communities, which they're not going to tell you about, you know what I'm saying? But there are black communities that they could not even get into. And most of that stuff didn't happen until the 60s and the 50s with the highways, and then they started using integration as another method, as another way. Because I say it was them who pushed that in the 60s. But anyway.
insulting is when you say today black Americans don't have those rights after we have
The
gone
fact
through
that I find
civil rights
insulting
revolution
is
in this
that
country.
You are sitting here telling an African American about the rights and what you find insulting about the way I live, the skin I live in every day.
Here's
and
where you and I
know
have
the
a different
freedoms
point
that
of view.
black and white that black people don't have in this country, and that black people do have.
Well, here's where you and I have a different point of view. I think we should be able to express our views regardless of the color of our skin. We should have this debate
I'm not saying you
without
shouldn't
me
express your
regarding
views,
you as a
but I think
black
it's
man.
insulting that
but
you're
me
sitting-
regarding
And this fool think that he's saying this because he think they're gonna let him be the president, right? Yo, that's kind of funny. He think he's gonna run for president.
You as a fellow citizen.
That you're
That's what I
sitting
think we should
here,
see.
whatever ethnicity you are, split.
Yeah, I was saving the East Indian thing, but they never came along, Bukhari. I guess they gave up. He said the one fact, well, he didn't, he wasn't, when black people use weapons, they have been able to secure whatever they have been doing, whether they was meeting at a church to plan their next, you know what I'm saying, what they going to do with their money, or, you know what I'm saying, plan their next move. They was protected by black men surrounding the church, because when they tried to run up, they would start shooting back until they got ran off, right? Or they had these black businesses that they protected. Guess what? With firearms, you know what I'm saying?
Meaning to me,
whatever ethnicity I'm,
what it's like to be black.
Whatever
in America.
ethnicity I'm, I'll tell you what I am. I'm an Indian American. I'm proud of it. But I think we should have this debate. Black, white, doesn't matter.
I think we should have this
on
debate.
the content of the
ideas. If you're
ideas.
gonna do it, you should do it in honesty.
There we go. So yeah, he's an Indian American, but yeah, you'll never. He must have saw Obama like, yo, I could do this. A Negro, it got in, but. All right, look, and I'm gonna spare y'all, right? Because this was another Indian girl, and I don't even want to do this, but she was gonna say what happened to her just because she had a baby with Hardcore. Now I'm joking, but she was gonna tell her story, but I'm gonna skip that, right? And I'll do this because I want to show y'all this, and y'all might have something to say about this. And then after this, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna wrap it up. But if y'all want to say something about this, I'll put the link in the chat, because y'all probably have an opinion about this. Yeah, yo, he's an East Indian. You know, it's one of them dot on the forehead kind of dudes. All right, so let me show y'all this though, right? And if you come on, just let me know in the regular chat, because I can't see the back chat either. So just put it in the chat and I'll let you on. Now, recently, right? I don't know if y'all heard, they're going to have a Black Cleopatra movie, right? Or a black woman, Jada Pinkett, is playing Cleopatra. Now, they are pissed about this, you know what I'm saying? They are like super mad, right? Because they're like, now this is cultural appropriation, all right? They're trying to say a black woman being Cleopatra is completely wrong, you know what I'm saying? Which is kind of funny. So I want you to hear some of this backlash, you know what I'm saying?
The best person for the job. We really want to see representation. Oftentimes, it's solely for the purpose of identity politics. But over the last several years, now people are actually trying to race swap historical figures, actual people that exist in history. And whether it's passed off as something for entertainment purposes, or whether it's like in this case with Netflix, it's passed off as some historical fact, when in reality, it couldn't be further from the truth. Nevertheless, people are incredibly outraged about this, and Netflix is facing tons of backlash after making Cleopatra black in Jada Pinkett Smith's new Netflix series. Netflix turns off comments on Cleopatra trailer amid backlash over depicting Queen as black. And we talked about this the other day. You can see the ratios only got worse. Nearly 300,000 dislikes at this point to only 25,000 likes. And yes, they have turned the comments off because they are cowards. And the backlash doesn't just stop there. They're actually being sued. Netflix is being sued in Egypt because, spoiler alert, there's a lot of Egyptians and even Egyptian scholars and experts that are furious about this because Cleopatra was not black. They know this. They've known this for a long time. Every single depiction of her, every single description, and her lineage, she was of Greek descent. There's no argument.
These fools is high. Now, they said there was Jesus. They had Elizabeth Taylor playing the white bitch, and I ain't gonna mention it in a second. The white bitch playing her, right? You had them playing everybody, right? But no, this is cultural appropriation right here, right? Yo, they hot. Yo, they going in the comments, you know what I'm saying? Because they need her to be white, you know, I guess.
It's about that among actual scholars, only by activists out there. But that hasn't stopped Netflix from doing this. That hasn't stopped Jada Pinkett Smith from admitting there's not enough stories about black queens. So we basically wanted to make sure we showed Cleopatra as black because a lot of people would like to see themselves in that. It's an absolute joke. And now...
And come from people who made the one drop rule. Like, that's the funniest part about it. You know what I'm saying? I guess she, I don't know, maybe she passed the brown paper bag test. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on here.
Director is lashing out. The director's explaining herself and saying, I can't believe that people would be so upset about this. Queen Cleopatra director Tina Garavi addresses Adele James' cast. Be real with you, Elizabeth Taylor is probably closer to reality than Taylor ever did. Well, ironically, that's not quite true. Just to be real with you, Elizabeth Taylor is probably closer to reality than what this docu-series. They're calling it a
Now, Elizabeth Taylor probably would have died as a baby, right, from skin cancer or something, you know what I'm saying, being in the sun, because they can't really go to the beach right now without putting something on their skin, you know what I'm saying? But now all of a sudden they can live in a hot desert, and she probably would have had like melanoma or whatever they get, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Elizabeth Taylor would not have survived, you know what I'm saying? She was in cold ass cold ass Greece somewhere, or wherever the hell they come from, somewhere in the Caucasus Mountains with no abundance. But anyway,
docu-series is trying to pass itself off as. This is why they're getting sued, right? This is why people in Egypt are furious, because they're presenting this as fact. They're not presenting it as for entertainment purposes. We're race swapping here. They're trying to present it as
from the same people who got mad about The Little Mermaid, by the way.
As if this is a reality when it's absolutely not. And when your first line, because she wrote this article, right? Look at this article that she wrote for Variety, exclusive by the director herself. Queen Cleopatra director speaks out. What bothers you so much about a black Cleopatra? The fact that you're saying a black Cleopatra, it's because you're changing it. You're race swapping this thing. You're trying to make up this story about a historical figure.
Oh, man.
Because you think the only way you can see value in that is if her skin color matches what you believe it should be, not the truth. But in doing so, you're trying to change history. And a lot of people, obviously, in Egypt are not very happy about this because they're trying to pass this off as reality when it wasn't. And look at even how this person starts. This is the director, by the way. Last summer.
Yeah, I said, you know, they made up the one drop rule, Bakari, not me. You know what I'm saying? At best, she was a mulatto. At best, or she probably Arab looking, but Elizabeth Taylor would have died out there, Bakari. Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they may have come later, but I don't know about this one.
I was living in Venice Beach and decided, due to a friend's persistence, to visit a fortune teller. Me, ever the skeptic, but game for a laugh, agreed to go along. What the fortune teller made me roll my eyes, or what she told me made me roll my eyes. I'm not saying you are Cleopatra, but somehow you share her story in our connection for African queens. She even goes on to say, I knew it'd be a very offered me this job for African queens.
They say that with so much despise. Yo, they hate that, yo.
Even goes on to say, I knew it'd be a very overtly political act to depict her as black.
All right. It was irrelevant. But, you know, the point is, you remember a couple weeks ago or months ago when they kicked Kevin Hart out the country for talking about how Egyptians were black. But I want you to hear, speaking of people of color, how these good old Arabs and these, you know what I'm saying, feel when it comes to this, you know what I'm saying? So,
but you made yourself a very good.
Listen to what she's saying, right? But also, you know, like I always tell you, when you hear what they're saying, also put yourself in that, you know what I'm saying, about your stuff. You know what I mean?
This video is not about you. It's for my followers and for Egyptians. But you made yourself a very good example, so I will use you.
There is a Netflix course called Egypt, and so is the anger right, or this is existing bigotry.
So this is going to start. This is going to start off between white and you know, Arab beef. You know what I'm saying? But guess who gets dragged in it? You know what I'm saying? But listen to what this Arab bitch says. You know what I'm saying?
Watch out, Egyptians, because they are using crocodile tears and the word, oh my God, you hate us. So they can gain some empathy from us, and we will cuddle them while they are stealing our history and our civilization. So whenever someone is trying to steal your house, please put a gun to his head and never tolerate his tears, not because he is poor, not because he disrespected himself that much so he can be a thief.
You hear this? You hear this? This is the reaction. Now, I don't know, you know, I don't know, because Bakari says, you know, Arabs ain't African, so I don't know when they got there. So
your house, please put a gun to his head. So whenever someone is trying to steal your house, please put a gun to his head and never tolerate his tears, not because he is poor, not because he disrespected himself that much so he can be a thief.
If anybody comes into your territory, put a gun to his head and never tolerate anybody disrespect or taking your stuff.
Won't change the fact that he's a thief. You think using the word, oh my God, you are hating on us. Oh my God, what we did to you. What? You are stealing. You are stealing us. You are stealing our history. What you were expecting? To cuddle? To let you in? Oh my God, please, please, please. I beg you, please steal my history. Please steal my kings and queens.
No, that's not funny, right? But damn it. Do you hear what this Arab bitch is saying? She didn't came in there, took your stuff, and now she like, yo, put a gun to anybody's head, you know what I'm saying? And she said, yo, you don't hear her saying, please, please, please take my queens and kings and give them to you.
Oh my God, please, please, please. I beg you, please steal my history. Please steal my kings and queens. You crazy. Crazy girl. This is a life lesson for you and for anyone. Guys, do not tolerate with thieves. Because this is our
she's gonna blame black people into it in a minute.
Homeland, and we will defend it the wildest we have. Do not
you hear this?
with thieves. Because this is our homeland, and we will defend it the wildest we have. Do not be fooled by how kind Egyptians can be.
What the hell is she talking about? How kind Egyptians can be? They're stupid. They're fucking idiots.
We are very, very wild, and we can take over whatever get in our way so we can move forward. You wish
All right, yeah, we hear you.
to steal my history, my home? I will suck the life out of your face. Crocodile's tears will never fool us. Aswan and Luxor, and so yes, we have.
And we saying that to put her in a what was that camp they was putting the people that looked like her in like 2001? The other dude, the Indian dude, would have got kicked off a plane just because of that. Because they, you know how these are the East Mexicans, you know what I'm saying? So, and the East Indians, if you will, like Bakar said in the chat.
Like darkened skin.
Now listen to what she said, because she probably would have died back then too, unless she got someone. I don't think that whatever the hell they call it, you know what I'm saying, that quilt that she got on would have protected her, you know what I'm saying. She probably got a bottle of sunscreen lotion or something going on. Yeah, I don't think, I wonder how old they are, you know what I'm saying, for her to be talking about this. Was the Arabs even around back then? I know she was probably mulatto. That's probably where they come from, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But was there even Arabs at the time? I'm not sure.
Fool us. Aswan and Luxor, and so yes, we have. Tears will never fool us. Aswan and Luxor, and so yes, we have like darkened.
Yeah, it was black people. Yes, it was dark because the sun and stuff like this, and your body adapts to stuff like that. But listen,
skin, but not African features. What's so hard about this? Oh my God! Oh.
Yeah. All right. By the way, yo, what's going on? You got ripped off, my brother. What's going on, my brother Nama X? Right, yeah. They treat the original people who stole the land and the original thieves of the land. Yeah, you know, these are the thieves, you know what I'm saying? But also, you could take heed to those words. Anybody, you know what I'm saying? You put a gun to their head and you don't tolerate disrespect, you know, in the words of the Arab bitch here. But, okay, so yes, there was darker skinned, right? Because she probably would have died, of course.
Tears will never fool us. Aswan and Luxor, and so yes, we have like darkened skin, but not African features. What's so hard about this? Oh my God. Oh. You are hating on us. No, we don't hate anybody. We don't hate anybody. Aswan, Luxor is our country. You are not Aswanian or Luxurian. Why do you hate Black people so much though? Nothing. They're just trying to steal our history and try to kill our identity. I have no idea why. Oh my God. Tell me why. Please tell me why. Tell me why. Because if you have someone is breaking into your house, you will, oh my God, please hug me. Let me make you some lemonade so you can steal whatever you want.
Cute, right?
Wait, hold on, real
Tell me
quick.
why. Because if you have
Oh, yeah,
someone
right.
is breaking into your house,
Mm.
you will, oh my God, please hug me. Let me make you some lemonade so you can steal whatever you want.
Cute, right? Well, you heard her. You know what the solution is to this stuff? Stop talking about Egypt. Stop claiming Egypt.
You heard what this white boy said. All right, man. All right, so yeah, I mean, who knows? These Arabs created a lot of savage stuff, you know what I'm saying? They got a lot of that Greek blood flowing through their veins too, you know what I'm saying? So of course, Cleopatra was Black or whatever, but oh yeah, okay, yeah. And I was gonna show my brother. Matter of fact, let me do that. I'm gonna show this before I show the last thing, you know what I'm saying? So if y'all wanna come on and say anything. Yeah, what are you talking about? Nomax. All right. All right, let me pull up the last guy. Oh yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the mentality that a lot of us have. You know what I'm saying? But it's like she said, man. If somebody come into your house, you put a gun to that. You don't be like, hey, let me make you some lemonades and stuff. But we have done that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I was, playing the John Henry Clark at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna play this. My brother have sent me this, and I'm playing this because I have a positive thing too with it. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me see. Let me see if I can pull it up. All right, hold on. All right, yeah, my bad. Yeah, my brother, we got ripped off on Black Maggots on IG. Make sure y'all follow him on IG, subscribe to him on IG. But you got ripped off, sent me this, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna play this, right? And I'm gonna play this for a reason. I'll play this first, right? So I'll play this one. Hold on.
Graduating senior economics major with the Chinese studies and mathematics double minor here at Morehouse College.
Yeah, what the hell is Chinese studies at, Morehouse College, you know what I'm saying? But anyway.
To me, the state of Black America means acknowledging where we've previously been to understand where we are, and from there on, understanding where we can go, because we don't know our potential without knowing our foundation and our base. So understanding what the state of Black America is. There is no America without Black America.
And so let me, and by the way, would that logic still make sense if there's no America without Black people, right? Would that still apply if Black people did their own thing? Would there still be no America? Well, anyway.
We make up such a pivotal part of it, and understanding that power and that responsibility, you know, comes with a certain due diligence and getting to know laterally where we are and who we are.
Yeah. You said he looked half Chinese or looked Chinese on the Black and Brown Coalition. Yeah.
My name is Kylan Dent. I'm a graduating senior economics major with the Chinese studies and mathematics double minor here.
All right. So at least he got mathematics in there, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to play this, though, because my brother also sent me this video, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to play this video.
This argument one day, and I tried to tell him sending your Black children to a predominantly white school is not the flex you think it is, because they're going to feel out of place at some point.
I agree.
Man, what?
Go to hell.
I went to Banneker High School. It was 99.9% Black. When I was in New York, see, this is why I'm glad I'm gonna give a history lesson right now. This is why I love Atlanta so much. When I lived in New York, it was half and half. It was a lot of Black kids, a lot of white kids, a lot of Spanish kids. It was everything in one school. And then I came to Atlanta and everybody was Black, from the teacher to the principal.
Okay, yeah, I ain't put it in the chat, you know what I'm saying? I just played the video. But yeah, y'all, if y'all want to follow him, follow the right page, you know what I'm saying? I ain't put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat, you know, when I'm done. But yeah, you just put the right one in there.
Principal to the janitor to every student, and that was the first time I ever experienced
Black
that.
family guard.
So I'm for going to a school with people that look like you. That's the majority. I'm all for that.
I'm gonna deal with you later. But how did you feel? All right, so you said you felt more comfortable being at the high school that had more Black kids, right? Did your creativity be able to grow there? Did you pull inspiration from that? Like, what changed for you personally and music wise?
I felt less, and I'm gonna just keep it 100 and raw. I feel like that's the best way to be. I felt less inferior. Like when I went to all white school, it kind of was like I felt a little inferior because they would do the racist jokes in front of me and feel comfortable doing it because I'm outnumbered.
And then you can't
what I'ma do?
act offended.
Like
the nigga.
Yeah, the mad Black man, yeah. But yeah, man, yo, like I said, man, there's a lot of stuff in there. All right, so you know what I'm gonna do is I'm about to get up off of here, but before I go, I'm gonna show something positive. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I do want to show that, but I'm gonna show something positive, right? Because even though you know what I'm saying, they did have the Chinese studies at whatever institution that young brother was in. You know what I'm saying? Check out what happened to this Chinese dude that got caught stealing and over in Africa. You know what I'm saying? This is something positive. You know what I'm saying? They go out on.
Yes, this is your money. Yes, your money. It's a thief. I told you. Excuse me. Give me the Come. Bring the money. Come and bring the money. Go. Come and take here. Come. Call the police. Yeah, call the police. Is this your one? Yes, this is my money. Yes, your money. It's a thief. I told you. Excuse me. Give me I told you. Give me. This is the somebody's wife. We saw everything.
Right, call the police.
We are tired. We are tired with this Chinese. No, it is not the end. Take him to police. Yes, take him. Just go get our all this Chinese. Yes, take him. Take him. Yes. Stay quiet. Stay quiet. You don't know what you're talking about. Stay quiet.
Yeah, you know, police starts in La Casa homes, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, they're in I forget. Oh yeah, I think it's Ethiopia. No, they on some airlines. I forget what country they in, but they in an African country, that's for sure. I don't know if they called the police or not. You know what I'm saying? Probably did. They probably held him until the police got there, and it was an Asian cop, for all I know, if it was an African country. But that's no disrespect, because we all do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Worldwide. You know what I'm saying? But yo, I appreciate y'all for watching, and so I'm gonna get off of here, right? But what I'm gonna do is, since they was talking about Cleopatra, right? I'm gonna play this. Play all of it because it's too much cussing, but I'm gonna let this be the last words about the Black Cleopatra, you know what I'm saying, or the mulatto Cleopatra, or whatever you want to say. So okay.
And white folks want Cleopatra to be white so bad. They tell so many lies. Elizabeth Taylor, Claudette Colbert, that woman wasn't white. Oh, she was part Greek. You may have Greek blood in you. That don't make you fucking white. You're crazy. Because of what she did, that's why. If she'd have been a white woman, look, Cleopatra was black. If she'd been a white woman, that was during the white times. Look, the Romans, give them the credit. They ruled the world for 3,000 years. It took them 300 years for Rome to fall. Give credit where credit is due. And they were freaks. They ruled it in miniskirts. Give it up to them. And they were white. We give it up. But Cleopatra was black as in my goddamn shoe. Egypt's on the coast of Africa. It is not some small village in Sweden. You're making up shit. They always stop that bullshit. Don't want us to have no credit. That bitch was black. All them cornrows and that makeup and that nigger gold and them big titties and that little waist, that big ass nigger ass. A bitch was built like a brick shit. That she wore them out. She went up into Rome. They'd never seen nothing like that. That black and that goddamn pretty. She seduced Rome. She entered Rome with all that shit. She seduced them. She was an arrogant black bitch. Shit. Caesar was like 90 or something, 10 minutes older than goddamn dirt. They didn't even think Caesar could still screw. Wasn't no Viagra and all that shit. They didn't even think he could still screw.
All right, I'll stop it right there because it's too much anyway. I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say at first, right from it. Because anyway, I'll leave it. I'll just leave it there. You know what I'm saying? But Rome was ruled for 500, not 3,000. But yeah, so yeah, that Cleopatra stuff been going on for a long time. But it's funny they mad about it. But anyway, man, I appreciate y'all for listening, man. And stop thinking that you got friends out there, because you got no friends. At the end of the day, we are all we got, you know what I'm saying? And if we ain't got nobody, if we ain't got each other, then we ain't got nobody. So as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're going to keep falling for anything.